Hello and welcome to Get the Table, a roundtable discussion podcast with myself, Michael Sidgwick, and fellow Dudley boy, Michael Hamflett, where we're going to talk very negatively. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure to subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. For daily wrestling podcasts where we preview and review Raw, SmackDown, the show formerly known as NXT 2.0, pay-per-views, premium live events. We have question and answer time, roundtable discussions such as this. We have wrestler interviews on occasion, and not this week. I don't know what week it is. This is in the can, but we host a roundup of the week any week, the bloody complete with a bloody good quiz, of course, on Wrestle Culture. Now, don't know when this is going out. It's being recorded on Friday, July 18, in advance of wAcKy Summer. The idea that there are holidays to take, there are children to look after. We can't do it at completely different times. There's going to be overlap. Trust me, we would rather do none of it and stay in this room.
He's right.
I mean, I'd love a holiday, but 6 weeks is excessive.
System doesn't work.
System doesn't work when both parents work, and yada. It doesn't even work when one of the doesn't. Summer's difficult. Summer is difficult. Yeah. So this is a sort of a little timeless idea that we had to possibly put out, you know, when there's a week we can't review Raw or Dynamite, you know, the big ones that we do. And also, there is another caveat here, right? Stemming back to my first days in this profession, some people have the same response. This is pre-AEW, during AEW. This is during the worst of WWE times and the best of WWE times. So I'm just giving you fair warning. The amount of comments I've seen have haunted me until I stopped caring very quickly since 2016. Why are you so negative? I don't like negative content. We're meant to love professional wrestling, aren't we? Isn't that why we're all in this space? And da-da-da-da-da. If you don't like negative content, you've come to the wrong podcast, because this podcast is recorded under the working title of Mount Hatemore.
Feels there should be a lightning bolt.
Yeah. Where Hamflett and I will initially go through some dishonorable mentions. Of wrestlers we just cannot stand for one reason or another before settling on the 4 installments of Mount Hatemore. Now, here's one caveat before we go into it. This is meant to be negative fun.
Yes.
Right, okay. Negative fun. Obviously.
Whinge-utainment.
Indeed. This is not, here are the worst people, or indeed the worst professional wrestlers of all time. If it was the people truly deserving of our ire, we're talking Benoit, Vince, Grizzly Smith. We don't want to do Mount Darkmore.
No.
We want to have a little rant about icks and quirks and cringeworthy stuff and bad work.
What is loving your favourite wrestler if you can't have hating your least favourite as a nice contrast?
Yes, exactly. You know? So we are fully aware, sat here, that again, Benoit, Vince, Grizzly Smith, Buck Zumhoff, far more worthy of our ire, disdain, disgust, genuine hatred, right? But these are wrestlers that are just, it's more irrational, obviously. It's more irritating, less awful to talk about. Yeah, that's what this is. We're going to go through some dishonorable mentions first. Should we volume back and forth throughout?
Yeah, go on then.
You go first.
Tommy Dreamer. Tommy Dreamer is a very unique figure in terms of my history of hatred, because I was introduced, like a lot of people.
With that alliteration, they could call a ECW pay-per-view that.
They really could, couldn't they?
And he could cry about it.
A DVD documentary in which he would provide a talking tear.
Tear King Head.
That's good stuff. Here's your crying towel. Whatever that ever meant. So, like a lot of ECW fans in the UK, I was introduced to that show by a combination of the incredible still images in Power Slam magazine, the early 1996 era that appeared on Bravo around 97, 1998. That was a satellite, cable, and digital TV channel. And then the release of the videos and the DVDs. I would say about, I don't know my exact dates on this, about maybe 2 years after the events themselves are taking place. So by that I mean Barely Legal 97 maybe gets a release in something like 99. There was definitely a 98, 99 period where the footage outside of tape traders that you would buy was finally becoming more and more available. And at no point in any of those introductions into this product that otherwise I found utterly captivating.
Oh, God,
how could you not? Everyone's got the same experience of the first few viewings of ECW. We very lovingly poured over that feeling when Sabu passed away.
Yeah, it was like those video nasties you would read about in the tabloids that you weren't to watch under any circumstances whatsoever, lest they pollute your young mind. But the wrestling, but a wrestling version, that's cool.
Yeah, you had a direct contrast of what it was supposed to be, which was WWE or WCW, and then you had this video nasty version, which was like, this is definitely wrestling. But dark, scary, violent, all the cool stuff, that you're not supposed to see. At no point, then, now, forever, sir, could I understand
the appeal
of Thomas Dreamer.
It then became... Even his frickin' name.
Tommy Dreamer, right?
Just dreams of making it.
Then the more you learn about ECW and the lore of ECW, it turns out that the Philly hardcore didn't like him either. And I can then understand why those fans specifically, having watched that man...
We should say, for those who don't know, they did at times, but it's wildly overstated how much he was the heart and soul.
Yeah. That man living and dying for their respect and love, and then ultimately earning it in the Sandman Kane angle. Like, if you were one of them ECW hardcores, you'd feel like your ego was well placated, wouldn't it, as well? Yeah. A wrestler, openly and earnestly. Kind of rare, dying for your approval and then willing to get Kane 10 times for it. As a fan in that sweatbox bingo hall, you'd be like, oh, cool, we assert some power. And I genuinely feel that was, core to the relationship between Tommy Dreamer and the ECW faithful. I didn't have any of that. I just had DVDs, videos, and still images of Sabu and Rob Van Dam, wrestling from space, futuristic stuff. I saw the Sandman and could scarcely believe what human lay in front of me drinking his beers and swinging the stick. Pick your favorite ECW thing, and it was like, well, that has just wowed me. I've never seen that before. That is crazy. Tommy Dreamer, meanwhile, I was already predisposed not to trust him on account of his gear, like his tracksuit and his T-shirt. I was which again is held up in ECW lore as and he got out the trunks and he got out of the stupid ass suspenders, and then he wore ECW across his chest. I was like, no, he's just wearing a T-shirt. In the Fed, you're wearing a T-shirt, you're a jobber. If you're in WCW and your T-shirt doesn't say NWO, jobber. There was markers that the mainstream had laid down to me that told me that he was taking the free stuff from the back rather than getting dressed for work.
Is Tommy Dreamer responsible for everything bad in pro wrestling? Now that I come to think of it, I will let you have your rant because it's a rant volley. That's what we're doing here. We don't like mascots. Welcome to Raw. I'm Seth Rollins in 2019 and I'm a complete uber geek.
Mm-hmm.
The feeling in AEW, and I'm Daniel Garcia and I'm wearing a T-shirt, and it's all Dreamer pilled rhetoric that needs to get stubbed out.
It might be, it might well be, because he was the one guy it was so strange to me that he was allowed to be what I consider to be a very, very cheesy thing in a product that abhorred cheesiness. It didn't make sense to me.
Tommy was the heart and soul.
Yeah. But surely this was where I got so confused. Surely a company that dined out on what an edgelord of a promotion it was wouldn't take that. Surely you'd want Sandman to cane Tommy Dreamer or 911 to chokeslam Tommy Dreamer in the same way you would doink the Clown or whoever. Is that not the very essence of what ECW despises? And then it's if you're picking at the hypocrisy of ECW, I'm 13, 14. I don't want to think about that. I want to think that they're just completely right in their edgelord attitude.
Yes. Here's something I've always thought about Tommy Dreamer, that cornball loser in tears about everything and how much he loves his freaking business. I think he's he's the Big Bang of Ick. The Big Bang of modern wrestling Ick. it was one of those things
The
where,
Big Bang
wow.
Theory by Michael Sidgwick.
Yeah. Like, wow, this 2-year storyline, and they're all gone to summer camp together, and blew my mind reading about it. Like, blew my mind. And then you realize, hang on. So the disaffected, grungy guy with the coolest finish in wrestling, Raven, and the even flow DDT, and the music and the aesthetic, and how much he just feels like a cool wrestler, is the heel in this story. Like, shouldn't Tommy Dreamer, who's sort of generically handsome enough, you can see why he pulled Beulah McGillicuddy and all the rest of it.
High school jock was easy to
High
believe.
school jock and all the rest of it. He should be the heel.
Yeah.
Maybe that's because I just hate Tommy Dreamer as well. Surprised I didn't put him on here.
The other thing as well, I don't mind, wrestlers, workers, they're all going to work. They're all going to lie. They're all going to play their greatest hits as often as they need to. They're not your mates, etc., etc. However, Dreamer's particular use of tears, whether real or otherwise, sometimes you see them trickling down his face. This is where the ick thing comes in. When the exact emotion displayed generates the exact polar opposite response, there must be something wrong.
Yes.
Between me and him, there must be a connection that can never be forged. In what may be the single greatest pro wrestling entrance ever, and entrances mean a lot to me, the Sandman at One Night Stand 2000. Certainly makes a case of being the greatest wrestling entrance ever, right? It's the one moment that threatens to derail it is the camera on Dreamer when Enter Sandman first hits. You can picture his face, can't you? Who's that Newcastle player with a big mouth when something good happened?
Jacob Murphy, when we went 3-0 up against Spurs inside, I think it was 8 minutes.
It was memeified on account of just how wide his big like expression was, wasn't it? Dreamer, when all around him is so excited for the Sandman, in my mind, and this could just be this is me supplanting this perception onto him, is trying desperately to be like, I got him for you guys. I got him. I knew he was coming. We all did. It was an announced match, Tommy. I knew he'd come.
I can't remember the time. You must have loved this, though. It was a WWE ECW show after the One Night Stands where I think he must have been in Philly, but in an arena with people like maybe 100 or 200 of them used to go to the ECW arena. And Tommy Dreamer was like, go out there, act as if you've just got the biggest reaction possible and you can't possibly believe and you're just overwhelmed by it. What was that? He was like, wow, but no one's paying it. No one's actually doing it.
It wasn't one of his TNA ones.
No, it was WWE.
Might have been towards the end of WWE ECW when he was given like his own retirement story.
I think it was that.
Like, time for me to go home, my kids. And like Bugler was in like the front row with the kids and that. And it was like, I think he fought for and lost the ECW title and attempted, bear in mind the big silver belt, you know, that you'd associate with Christian or Mark Henry. And he attempted to attach like the same. It's like one of our guys now going back to NXT. This old place these walls. You're in any other basketball arena and the ECW logo was a razor blade because WWE relaunched it and rematched it. And all the originals said they hated it. Which is it, Thomas?
Yeah.
Like
It's like he's got a sexual fixation with the letters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's some great stuff. If you go back and watch the they were called EV 2.0 because TNA had none of the licenses or trademarks or anything.
So it's like the Pro Evo of ECW reunions.
Basically, if you go back and watch 2010's Hardcore Justice build as promoted by, you know, famous ECW original Hulk Hogan, Dreamer's like one of the mouthpieces. And you can tell, like, Mick Foley, one of the all-time great money talkers, is just there being like, I probably should have done this. You got, like, Raven, like, not looking his best, like, slumped in the corner being Raven. If even me and this guy can pull it together, it's got to mean something. It's got to mean something.
It means nothing no more, Tommy. It means nothing no more. Do something else with your career.
You know what?
Okay, I'll go and kill TNA's, but all right, okay.
In the interest of... Because as you said, it's going to be some fun negativity. You don't have to do this as well. I'll try and come up with like one nice thing.
Nah.
Oh, all right. Well, I won't. It popped me then. I was going to say this is like almost a compliment to the pair of them. When Dreamer put Raven in the TNA Hall of Fame for all, you know, you can debate the importance of that. Like them come up with a bit on the stage.
No debate. It's minimal.
That like Dreamer was like,
on, it's negativity. Get in it.
This guy changed my life. And then Raven comes out and he's like, thank you, Tommy, for your great reception. And then he drilled him with the even floor on the stage. And it was like, even as part of the bit, like Tommy can't walk off with any dignity, otherwise nobody would buy it.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. They read the room to be like, Dreamer's looking like, kind of like...
Those carnies probably thought they had one more match in them, men.
Yeah, you're right. They were probably booking the next indie show, weren't they? Forget it. Loser.
Dishonorable mention number 1 for Michael Sidgwick. Is it's Alex Abrahantes. It's Alex Abrahantes. Stop being a hyperactive child, you little competition winner.
Oh my God.
It's when he was doing Penta Says, I was like, I get why you're doing this. It's American TV, and as I mentioned on another podcast weeks ago or whenever it was, like, even AEW tends not to treat its audience with total contempt. Does to a degree. Not total contempt, but a degree of contempt. Like, you can't just have Penta, who does Spanish-speaking promos phenomenally well, do one, and you can just infer from his tone and his body language whether he's vowing revenge or whether he's, like, furious, or whether he's being cocky, you know? So the Penta Says thing, right, okay, the best of both worlds. Penta can do a cool promo, and then Abrahantes, right, okay, that's what we're doing here. What we're not doing here, or what we should never have been doing here, Alex Abrahantes, at least, was it Gronk? Remember when Gronk came out in the Performance Center? Gronk came out, and he would, like, twerk on the ring post and hump midair violently. Alex Abrahantes has this thing where he just goes down, slut drops, puts the palm of his hand on the floor and starts, like, humping.
Yeah.
What the hell are you doing? Do you know how old Alex Abrahantes is? He's ancient.
The game is... So he's too old for what he's doing, is what you're pitching.
Yeah, I mean, well, put it this way, is he 7?
Yeah.
Is he 7 years old going on like the main character?
Or is he like a 21-year-old primo douchebag era guy who just thinks this is I'm a hot shit, basically. That'd be
that's the only age you're allowed to.
Yeah,
you're the only you're 21, you're young, dumb, full of cum, acting a tit, or you're 7 years old and you're just jazzed up on Halloween, dressed up like death. Alex Abrahantes is 47 years old. He is 47 years old. And here's the thing, right? He seemed to have, during those AEW appearances, right, main character energy, scenery chewing, scene stealing. I've got to do my cool dances and my hype man bit and be hyperactive. Alex Abrahantes is 47 years old and thinks he's the main character by just trying to dominate everything. If there's anyone who shouldn't be a main character or exude main character energy, it's the guy stood next to someone who's meant to be one of the main characters. You're his manager. What a goofball. Penta, and to a lesser extent Phoenix, had an aura as someone just cool. It's so hard to replicate. It is impossible to learn. You just have it or you don't. It's like the intangibles, the it factor. Like the Scott Hall, Penta. Like, who's cool? Like, I love Kenny Omega and Bryan Danielson. They're not cool. Anita, cool. Atsushi Anita, cool. Penta, cool. Scott Hall, cool.
Penta in WWE and Razor Ramon.
Jack, even though, awful, cool.
Like, to use those two examples specifically, right? Razor Ramon with somebody else's performance.
You have to say Razor and not Scott Hall.
No, what I'm saying is
the
performance of that gimmick with somebody else could be a nightmare. Could be one of those like kind of classic wrestle crap things, including like a guy that tried in Rick Bogner, right?
I was going to say it was.
Yeah. Penta in WWE 2025 is showing, well, AEW Alex Abrahantes, how hard it is to lose that cool. Mm-hmm. He can lose matches and not lose any cool.
Yeah.
He's done really well, and stays cool. It's hard to take that cool away, but try and put him around a cauldron and dress Alex Abrahantes up as a vampire, and you might manage it. That was such a low. You can visualize the same thing, right? Like the Count from Sesame Street alongside Penta over a cauldron is like such a low. Like
what's his thing? The Count from Sesame Street?
Where he goes, one, and he just keeps
Alex Abrahantes.
One dead push.
Alex Abrahantes. Useless, aura draining, hyperactive cringe tosser. What's your next dishonorable mention?
Trent Seven.
You hate Trent Seven.
How can I put this? It is a enormous character flaw that I have, that I hold a lot of British wrestling in contempt. A lot. We have a lot of fun at the expense of one William Regal on this podcast, and it's very cathartic.
If we did a bit, that would be one of the most enduring bits.
Yes. It's quite cathartic for me, that, because I don't know if like it's a self-loathing thing or if it was the fact that I was so, like my diet was almost entirely fed / WCW, even as competition. I was
could say you developed an immunity to British wrestling.
Yeah, like I don't think...
Like an allergy to it, rather.
Kind of. Like, I went to the Indies in the Northeast, not during the boom of the mid-2010s, but in the absolute doldrum era, when guys...
Jimmy Blade. Jimmy Blade.
And, like, look, Pat was a gift to those social club shows. Of course he was, and it was awesome to see somebody that was very... And that's not... With no disrespect to Jimmy Blade or several others, but, like, you watch Packing, like, what the hell... What are you doing here? Oh, you're from here. Wow. And I really enjoyed those as nights out, and you can still find those shows now. They actually survived regardless of what happens to the boom, because they were always separate from it anyway. They're like family friendly.
Lack of pretentiousness.
Exactly that. You go to a social club, you get quite a cheap drink. The heels are the heels, the baby faces are the baby faces. Some guy who's just like the top baby face of that night that wins a battle royal. The kids all want to get his autograph at the end of the night. And like, they didn't know him 2 hours early, but that's the work, right? That's the magic of the work. And I can appreciate that. British wrestlers that have watched WWE and WCW and ECW and AEW now, generations moving forward, that want to go to these towns and pretend to be actual wrestlers, make me sick, Sidge. And I'm not saying Trent Seven is representative of all of those, but he was around before that boom, and he did work to find his way and find his place amongst it. Like, he was a guy, you can find him on, like, you know, the McGuinness documentary when he's retiring.
Yeah.
There's another one I wasn't always the biggest fan of. All from over here. But, like, the McGuinness documentary when he's retiring, Trent Seven's there, and he's like, just wrestler guy, just like wrestler number 7 or whatever, saying, this guy is the reason we all do what we do. And it's like, well, what is it you do? And, like, then the friggin' Triple H and William Regal line up like 18 Peaky Blinders and call it like WWE UK.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that suck-ass bunch of losers. And then the thing about Trent Seven is that, like, he's a little bit older than sort of the Tyler Bate, Pete Dunne revolution end of it. Like, they're so young.
He's the guy who was too old for Brit Res, the new class.
Oh, God, he's Screech.
He's Screech, yeah.
He's Screech in Brit Res, the new class. And a little bit of him is Tommy Dreamer.
Trent Screech,
because he's another guy that would probably have no problem coming out with a T-shirt that just says, like, NXT UK, like, and just accompanying Tyler and Pete to the ring, because he's their guy, he's the trainer cum partner. But, like, he'd wear the NXT UK T-shirt probably and be like, you know, this is what this great business is all about. And he was so key, I think, to a lot of those contracts getting signed, and, you know, other British wrestlers that weren't part of that WWE bubble getting lambasted on Twitter. Was it Pete Dunne that said, not the way?
Not the way.
Right.
Hang your head in shame.
Yeah, that was all of them. Yeah, there was a collective action, wasn't it, on behalf of that? And I just think he was so integral to it. And I have seen precisely one match of his, like 2 matches of his that truly moved me. One was in person, and it was British Strong Style against the Elite. And I mean, how is that not going to be the most incredible thing you've ever seen?
Yeah.
2 months after Omega Ricardo won, and you've got Kenny Omega right in front of you, teaming with the Young Bucks. Like, I'm not saying they could have fought 3 broomsticks and Peaky Blinders tires, but it still would have been pretty entertaining. Like, Pete and Tyler.
Well, they did 2, and then 1. They did Tyler Bate.
Yeah, Pete and Tyler and their uncle were
broomstick.
still there. Yeah, correct. And the other one was the tag match where he was so beaten down that they had to use the employ the.
Oh, that was great.
Like that
I
that came out of
find
nowhere.
it so impressive when you. I mean, I don't give a toss about Trent Seven either. Don't hate him quite as much as you, but when you can deliver a performance so incredible that in the moment I care about that wrestler who I never cared about.
Tyler
beforehand.
ran out of 5 counts and he couldn't run in and help him.
Unbelievable.
That was really, really smart.
That's a great example of my agenda for start having discipline with the rules and limit yourself creatively, because within those limits you can find magic.
It was his knee they worked, wasn't it? And he had to surrender and they lost the tag belts back to the Undisputed Era. And I just think like we are a nation that produces such a low quality. High quantity, low quality of just guys. And like maybe Trent, maybe I'm picking on Trent Seven unfairly, but like I think as
it's negativity corner.
Yeah, like, well, you can stick like just have an entire corner of Mount Hatemore that's just the shape of the British Isles, because look, I think the numbers back my argument up. Like, even if you like William Regal, right? Or even if, like, Davey Boy Smith, cultural icon over here, like, watch loads of his work, tons of it doesn't stack up. I'm really sorry. I'm not a Davey Boy Smith guy either, by the way. And at least he was jacked and looked like a wrestler. So many of them don't. Like, Ospreay's changed the game. William Regal, to a certain point, changed. I mean, look at who he's influenced. For better or worse, they like him, even if I don't. So, like, you've got, like, at least 2, bless him. And then, like, you've got to have this daddy bollocks every time the Hall of Fame comes around and stuff. Wow, we have got a pathetic contribution, if to be honest. They're not.
You can't put him over because he's an arsehole. He's closer to the list of we're not touching them that I said on the intro than they are to these lot. But Dynamite Kid, incredible.
Awesome. Yeah.
Him and Hamada changed the game separately.
Yeah. It's a short list for a country full of so many people. Numbers don't lie.
It's like there's such a drabness to the UK. It's overstated. We have some beautifully quaint village towns, some bustling cities with some really cool music and art. Why doesn't wrestling reflect that? I think it's just an American, Japanese, and Mexican thing, and we shouldn't be allowed to touch it.
I would be okay with that. I think it's like I haven't just like this is not some thought I've come up with for the benefit of this. I mean, podcast.
Dynamite Kid and Ospreay.
Yeah, but like
we can embarrass them when we want.
But it's so rare that it's almost like not worth trying, and then you get a fluke every now and then. If it was up to me, the UK would exist as a jobber training factory. Like, we are all so much smaller. We are not as interesting and as good at propelling ourselves
NXT
forward.
UK was EastEnders wrestling, wasn't it? Like EastEnders, drab.
Didn't mean anyone wasn't trying the hardest or anything, but like, come on.
I guess your best wasn't good enough.
Nah. And like, just if we just have reams and reams of jobbers, like that aforementioned Elite British Strong Style match, the Young Bucks got a great gag in about how they made more selling merchandise in that single weekend than the entirety of their
NXT UK
NXT contracts. Funny, because it was true, right? If you like that £30,000-40,000 a year, amazing if like these British kids that want to try it out can like get paid a full-time wage, and their job is to just be there to pick up the phone if like WWE or AEW Real Wrestling from the two companies need skinny wimps, to use your parlance.
Skinny wimps.
Like, do you see jobbers on WWE TV, people that go out there to lose, and if you put them over here, it'd be like giant solid gold Homer Simpson walking through a territory. Like, who's that guy? That guy that's just there, just lost on Raw in 2 minutes to Braun Strowman. Like, there, and he'd come in and he'd want to put all the belts on him. And like local village wrestling company 4, he'd be the world champion. I saw Duke Hudson at an indie show.
Got a lot of these to get through, you know.
Yeah, sorry. I saw Duke Hudson at an indie show over WrestleMania weekend, and like indie guys traditionally smaller. Duke Hudson came in with the glow and the size of a just released WWE superstar who's TV ready. Looked
WWE superstar, man.
The proper stuff. Like, he looked. Murray would agree to this. Yeah. And Murray likes his sort of like pointless wrestling way more than I do. Like, and like, he's like, this guy's a star. Like, look at this guy, right? And even then, like the American indie level guys were still like hanging with him, and like you could see they're kind of like they were only like a step away. You put him in the UK,
there's that little WWE polish.
Yeah, he's like, to use something we were just discussing before we recorded. No mind a step, it's all friggin' Escher painting away from the people. Like in the UK, like they could keep walking upstairs and they're still just going to record, second staircase. Like, the climb for a UK wrestler to WWE TV is as big as Darby Allin's recent one up Everest. And I still gave Darby Allin a bigger chance of succeeding than Trent Seven and his ilk. Like, we are a nation of jobbers, and that's the way it should stay. Every now and then an Osprey and a Regal and a whatever. Well done, you.
I'm not beating that rant. I've got a chance with my actual Rushmore, but a few more dishonourable mentions. I'm going to try and be quick here.
Sorry.
I don't want to rush anyone, but there's just, I hate lots of things, and people... Cope, hate you. Cope, this is a weekly feature of the Dynamite / AEW coverage, so I'm not going to take up too much of your time here. Edge, loved him in 2000. We got 4 years there where, the matches with Eddie Guerrero were great on SmackDown. And, that No Mercy tag, can't watch it no more. But at the time, that was the best match of the year, irrespective of promotion.
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's some boring babyface stuff. And don't ask me. Ask the denizens of his hometown in Toronto after SummerSlam 2004.
Yep.
Then, he has an affair. Bad stuff, but leans in, capitalizes for a good 3 years. Good 3 years. He's pretty class as this entertainment machine. Like the facials, he wrestles to his size. And look, then the ladder matches, that schedule, it all catches up to him. And he has to retire after a terrible babyface run. Not his first. Why does he go on like he's Jack Reacher? I'm not being funny, right? Bryan Danielson, you would say I'm the best in the world, and his work would speak for itself more often than he would tell you.
Mm-hmm.
He only came up with it because, it's kind of undeniable.
Yeah.
I'm Bryan Danielson. Yet the emotional thing from the comeback, right? And then he's like, "All right, okay, well, I'm back now. I've already bounced back. So why do I need to keep going on about it? Why does it have to shape who I am? Why do I have to?" I mean, the guy didn't even do the yes chant until ages in AEW.
Mm-hmm.
Why is Edge so forged by his experience that he can't shut his mouth about it? I don't have that much time left. And I didn't ask you to come back. What he keeps saying? You hurt my neck when you give me that concerto, and that killed me because I don't have that much time left. Brother, live in the moment. Relax a little bit. This is me talking about. If you don't keep talking about how little time you have left, of course it's always going to feel like the end if you keep going on about it. Just have a nice 5-year run like Bryan Danielson did, right? Where it's just awesome.
Mm-hmm.
This, what was it? 3-year run that Danielson had in the dub. He doesn't keep talking about how little time he had left. He's just happy to be back most of the time. If you keep talking about it, it's just that's no wonder you're gonna keep. Just the fact that he thinks he's, Jack Reacher. He goes on like he's Stan Hansen, like this tough, grizzled dude who is hot. You're sick, Marks, but I'm sicker. Well, did you win the championship, Cope? No, you didn't. Have you done anything like any of the Texas Death matches? No. I don't know who he thinks he is.
I think the fact that you've gone from Jack Reacher to Stan Hansen, you could go via about 6 other people, highlights what I think is there's a commonality between a lot of the people we don't like.
Edge was a bitch,
Yeah.
Edge was a bitch, and a good one.
Really good one.
We talk often about the WrestleMania 24 main event. He didn't do a goddamn thing offensively in that match. He was like, I'm just going to slip away out of everything.
Yeah. That's the only thing he practiced, or at least that's what he could believe. It was amazing. I think there's a commonality between a lot of the wrestlers that we don't like, which is, he's not going to feature in this podcast, and I'm kind of relieved to say so as well. Something that early days Death Riders John Moxley and early days BCC Moxley was very guilty of. You cannot be everything, because what does that leave to your colleagues in what's supposed to be this multifaceted, character-driven show? You can have one trait that you should excel at, and then maybe a couple of others that you kind of keep in your back pocket that your opponent doesn't know you've got. but you can't have the lot.
It's just really funny and hard and sexy and grizzled and tough.
I hate it when wrestlers get like that because what it does is it arms them with the worst kind of, well, I couldn't possibly do that because of my character. It's fiction, sir.
Yeah.
We can write your character to feel this way instead if you can perform it, and you've proven that you can. Like, if you're nothing else, you're versatile. There have been times...
Lighten up, Francis.
There have been times where you've been this.
That's what I say to Cope whenever I watch him.
I get it. I totally get it. He never... The difference between me and you and Cope, and it's like a big one, I guess, is that he doesn't give me the ick. I just can't really be arsed with him. Like, I don't... Like, he has the... I think there's a bit of a Seth Rollins overlap here. I can situationally apply myself to enjoying his work if he's, like, working with people I enjoy. He is so lucky that he's so inexorably linked to Christian Cage because that guy's a cheat code for me. I'll buy most of what he sells almost all the time. So luckily for Cope...
They should take Alter Bridge off him. They should take Alter Bridge off him as a test to see how over he is. How many more dishonorable mentions have you got?
I'm hovering over whether or not to just go all in and include this one in the actual... No, I'm not. Here's just a dishonorable mention, and it's a basic bitch on this, because I would have watched this man's work probably more than, like, what? Maybe 60% of the wrestlers I've ever seen, because the guy was a staple of my Coliseum video youth, and outside of an odd promo where he might have made me laugh, he offered me nothing.
I want to guess this.
Okay.
Duggan.
No, but you're close. That would offend a lot of people, actually, that have said that. But let's ignore his Mid-South. Yeah, but like, proper Duggan, the Fed Duggan, the one that actually matters. Like, you're close in terms of complete lack of quality when the bell rings, of any discernible quality. Heel.
Not my mind, the Warlord.
No. And you've kind of... You're not on the wrong lines as such with the Warlord, but I like Warlord. Like, he's seen his biceps. There's really loads of them. Like
Typhoon?
No, I'm veering away now. I'll tell you. It's Dino Bravo.
Oh.
Right. Now, Dino Bravo.
Wait there.
I'll tell you what I like about Dino Bravo, but it's something that
I've got a game here.
I would say that you would. It's the same sort of thing that you would love about, say, like the Nasty Boys. I like when he was stood in promos with the Earthquake, when he would kind of go like, hey, Hogan, me and the Earthquake, we're going to get you at Saturday night's main event. He's like a wacky cartoon baddie, you know, like the kind of scream, that kind of stuff. His matches where just nothing happens.
Oh, no.
Nothing on offense, nothing on defense. He kind of effectively stooged because he's too big. He should, at a bare minimum, hit hard because, like, look how much bulk he's carrying, and it's like feather-like stuff that, and then, like, for example, that time when he knocked Brett off the apron and, like, he sort of busts one of his ribs or something. And it's like, so when you do something with any impact, it injures a guy.
Like the Shane Punch as a wrestler.
Yeah, like, he's so rubbish. He was so consistently rubbish and boring. And boring is the problem, because Warlord's a good example, right? I want my guys to look like Warlord for starters anyway, so you're ticking the win column for me. But, like...
Check.
Yeah, but then, like, even if you're doing little, because to look at you, you're doing something, and there is proof out there that people can do something with a guy like Warlord, and he can contribute. And the powers of pain were half decent, actually. Like, where's the half decent Dino Bravo run? Ever. And that's one for the old heads. I apologize, but, like, if you're young and you're on the vault, don't watch Dino Bravo. So it's dull.
It's time to play the game. Time to play the game. Ha 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 ha.
Bret Hart, in his autobiography Hitman, decides to reveal his famed criteria for assessing how good a professional wrestler is. It's out of 30, and those 30 available points are divided in between three categories. Promo, look / presence, in-ring ability. So he said, think about it like this. I'm a 10 in the ring.
Agree.
Hogan's a 3, but he ends up with 23 because he's like a 10 in presence and a 10 in, like, promos.
Yep.
Right.
That's good, Brett, that. That's because that's fair to the point where it probably annoyed him how fair he was being.
Yeah. when he's talking about, he then fleshes out the criteria. A really funny line in the autobiography, which is, there is a game coming, where he says, and the opposite of Hulk Hogan is Tommy, Dynamite Kid, where obviously in the ring, 10. Promos, you would have to work to be a 2. The idea I love so much of the Dynamite Kid. Night after night, week after week, month after month, practicing his promos in front of a mirror just to go from the worst thing you've ever heard in your life to just bad.
Yeah.
I love that so much. But it's at the story of Brett's rib, and like the one time he gets like a pretty significant injury layoff. And it's not that significant because you're not goddamn allowed back in the days of, what was it, 1986 or 1980? Late 80s.
88, it was.
88, yeah. So it's like, right, this guy injured me. Right, here's a good a time as any to reveal my criteria for good and bad wrestlers. Dino Bravo scored low points. Sure wasn't great because he said he's said the same things. What a nothing wrestler.
Yeah.
Nothing. Complete the following Bret Hart burial game, okay?
Love this.
I might do more of it, actually. Dino Bravo, that adjective something.
Jacked lump.
You are so close with lump. It's like an immovable object, basically.
Rock.
You are as close as could be.
So not a stone?
No, but you are. You're getting there. You're closing in.
Rock, stone, lump. I love that it's not them because what else?
But it's pretty much a big rock.
What's a big rock? What's a big rock? I don't know.
Big rock begins with a B.
Boulder.
That something boulder. It's so funny. It's again like Brett is an artist. He paints a picture with his insult.
Go on.
That lethargic boulder. What I love about this insult at Dino Bravo Rest in Peace's expense is like it implies the existence of a useless boulder that can't do anything, but at least to try hard.
I love that. Like Brett's looking around at locker room of boulders in the late 80s, like ranking them. All boulders.
Yeah, they're all
you're
boulders.
suck-ass boulders, but like he's the
lazy one. He's the lazy one. That lethargic boulder. Absolutely unbelievable. Right.
Ah, great stuff.
So going through the list of, I'm going to do 2 for 1.
Are you on your Hatemore now? Because I think I've got one more that I'm going to have to be generous and say he's just an honourable mention.
I know, I've got like 5 more honourable mentions.
Thank God I didn't want to go.
Should I go through a couple then?
Yeah.
Shane and Stephanie McMahon, hate you both. Wish you were never involved in the business to begin with. Stephanie McMahon, I'll start with. Like, this idea that her cards were marked with me. Like, as an on-screen performer, when I was 14, 15 years old, decent love to hate heel.
Mm-hmm.
I think she did well as a performer very early.
Yep.
As soon as she turned heel. The idea that she would take the 2000 Wonderland of Chris Kresge and think, I could do a better job than that. And then decides, oh, well, me and Triple H should probably be overpowered, if anything. But Austin's credibility, who cares about that? He's only the biggest star we've got. I hated her ever since those days, right? Stephanie McMahon, between the years of, I want to say, 2013 and 16, when she was playing the Authority, like if she did this thing, week after week after week, babyface, heel, didn't matter, berate, berate, belittle, scowl, get out of my ring. Ooh, I don't think that's a good idea, you stupid asshole, like all this kind of stuff. Yeah. And then she would eat a table at WrestleMania.
Against
How
Triple
many
H's
times?
megastar rival, not anybody, the people she was chewing.
Yeah, she would eat a table at Mania once a year.
Yeah.
If she had that character and sold as often as Vince did in 1998, it's money.
Mm-hmm.
It is a money character. But her idiocy, her complete smugness, inability or unwillingness to sell. Like, I'm telling you now, like 2013 to 2015, the screeching, the expressions, that sense of entitlement, I couldn't stand her. Shane McMahon, thinking he's hard, with the worst punches you've ever seen in your life. The idea that he could just, again, in the Attitude Era, you go through, like, because there's so much fresh crap, you forget about the Winnets. Right.
Dangleberries.
The Dangleberries. You forget about the Winnets because there's so much more fresh crap in Shane's return run when he's like, I'll just technically wrestle AJ Styles. Annoyingly, he had his best WrestleMania match with him, so maybe he had a right to do that. There was probably moments where I thought Shane was completely counterproductive to WWE TV. But like the King of the Ring match was this little asshole hopelessly outmatched by the technically supreme killing machine that was Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
But him surviving it that's gutsy, that's impressive.
You watched that back recently? Just out of interest?
Not recently.
I have, and I'd argue it as like an old money 5.
Yeah.
That's Kurt's 5, and I think that he should have had more. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's unbelievable.
I remember it being phenomenal.
It is unbelievable.
It's
better than I remembered. Phenomenal. It's that good.
Phenomenal.
Yep.
Again, it's a bit like Cope. Somewhere along the way, you take too many bumps, you start to think, oh, of course I'm tough, I last in this business, and then it completely pollutes your in-ring character. I don't know why Shane McMahon gets off, considering he took hardly as many as anybody else when he's a part-time attraction for a lot of it. But regardless, he looks constantly like he's seconds away from a death caused by autoerotic asphyxiation. And when he is, dancing with the devil, risking it all for that ultimate orgasm via strangulation, where I don't know, I've not looked into it that much, but apparently the circulation being cut off and the lack of oxygen gives you this dizzy.
Okay, that makes
sense.
I'm guessing. Like just literal head loss, right? He's spunk there and then it's a doubler. Is that the idea? Got it.
But when he's showing himself, he's like, I'm coming. He's looking at he's watching his own matches when he's doing this and sweating. I cannot stand him. It's one of those, I reckon I would have way more bite about this rant if he was still around.
Yeah.
It's to the point now where I almost find it funny that he would just, in those days of the Fed, like he went out to Lesnar, didn't he, backstage, and go, don't do that again, yeah? I'll let you off this time, Brock. Don't do that again to Randy.
And the on-screen one was designed to set up a program.
Yeah. Was it WrestleMania 34 when Shane, after Brock was like, belt, Vince's face, that sucked and it was your fault? Wasn't it Shane was
Let
like,
me at him. Yeah.
Oh, God.
I think I've got one that I think it's a hot take, but you know me so well, you'll be familiar with this.
Is this going to annoy me, bro?
No, I don't think it will. It'd annoy a lot of other people, though. I think I might annoy people here. And I've got like 5 more honorable mentions. It's good, this. I'm enjoying this. It's cathartic. I think this wrestler introduced me to the ick when I was still too young to articulate what the ick even was.
Is it Ronnie Garvin?
No.
But it should be.
Maybe it should have been all along, yeah. I thought it then. I went on to never particularly enjoy his work. And the stuff that I am told to appreciate, I still watch a little bit through my fingers. Roddy Piper. Now, Roddy Piper is very literally my favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler, right? As of right now.
Please don't hurt me. Sacrilege Corner. And if you like Sacrilege Corner, like those spicy takes that the lads are brave enough to put out there, maybe we might do a feature-length podcast on it. Who knows?
Don't hurt me. Otherwise, I'll have to get in a real fight. You understand me? Real fight. And that, in a nutshell, was what I didn't like about Roddy Piper. The stupid work punches when he was talking about fights and taking dives. Like, I don't get it. And I never did, and I never will. I can watch from it. What?
That's just what you would do after the end of every sentence.
Yeah. From a distance. from a emotionally detached distance, I can appreciate the sheer brutality of the dog collar with Greg Valentine.
Oh, it's great. It's absolutely fantastic.
The visual that they create, right? From an emotionally detached distance, I can appreciate the promos he cut as a heel.
Gives me just bleed, that dog collar, bro.
The money drawing promos he cut with doing business with Hulk Hogan. They're sort of like...
He's got a great face.
The shot in the arm as a heel, that specific era of WWF required, really. It can't just be, what did Brett say? Like boulders.
Lethargic boulders.
It can't just be lethargic boulders. Hogan needs someone with a little bit more like that, you know, and competitive spirit as well, that he didn't want to do the old job ski. I'd never want to watch a Roddy Piper match ever. Like, and more of it's crap than people want to talk about. It is. Like, a lot of stuff that I hold my hands up here, that might be from Portland through to mid-80s Piper, basically right when he joins the Fed, might hold up in ways that I couldn't possibly comment on and wouldn't try to, because my exposure to it has been limited to the headlines and the hits, right? However, for a guy that lauded for that long, you could probably call time on it in 1985. And like, he was winning the tag belts in 2006, you know? Like, I just think,
go back 2006, you didn't think, I should probably give up watching this?
I never thought that, because there was always something, but it was never Roddy Piper. Like, why
I love that you prefer the year 2006 WWE to Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Correct. Why are we... Okay, so one of my favorites is Kevin Nash, right? Diesel. Why do we not speak of Piper in the 90s like we do Diesel, when the only shot he had of doing anything good was if he was in there with like a Brett or a Shawn? That was the only shot we had of a good Piper match, was with one of those guys. Like, it just wasn't there anymore. It was not there. There is a Coliseum videotape where he does a really good bit of business with Randy Savage, and Randy Savage stooges his absolute arse off. Like, it's Macho King Randy Savage, 1990. Piper's over, and that's what he's got. The fans love him. And when he wins the Intercontinental title...
Okay. Well, by that criteria...
Yeah,
right?
I know where you're going, right?
By that criteria... No. Let me say it. Who's better, Jey Uso or Rowdy Roddy Piper?
I love, earnestly, when he beats the Mountie for the Intercontinental title, and he holds that belt up as if it's one of his, I got 6 kids. Like, if it's one of his very own 6 kids.
Paul Heyman.
They're kind of overlapping their sort of vocal tics. I don't have a Piper, I don't think. I was Rowdy before Rowdy was cool. Is that Rowdy? I don't know. Like, he holds up that Intercontinental title and he's beaming. Yeah. And I get something out of that. Like, because he almost can't believe, like, he's the guy that wasn't destined to win titles and he's done it. And I get that, and I actually feel something for that. And then he gets in the Royal Rumble later on, and he fires off those absolutely piss-poor, pathetic, I pretend I'm a boxer, mate. Like, it's just wank. Like, you're not a boxer, mate, you're a wrestler. Like, not that anyone would know, because I haven't seen you apply a hold. Like, oh, yeah. I'm Rowdy, man. Like, King of the Ring 1994 against Jerry Lawler is an embarrassment that does not get discussed as an embarrassment enough, quite honestly, considering what the two of them should have had in the locker. Nowadays...
They should have been able to do Nout, and it'd be great.
Yeah. Exactly that. Nowadays, that wouldn't wash, because like a couple of legends would go out there and play the hits, and it would be like, oh yeah, that's me and you would probably go, yeah, you know, that's what's missing from wrestling today, wouldn't we? We'd be like,
you should have kept this for Sacrilege Corner podcast, you know.
Maybe they'd do one thing in a match today, whatever the version of that match is, and we'd be like, that's what's missing from Dynamite, that's what's missing from Raw, and they get it, and God, I wish more wrestlers got it. Can you imagine watching, like we did, but can you imagine King of the Ring 1994 and we were adults and we were like, yeah, that's what's missing from that awesome Bret Hart Diesel match on the undercard. That's what's missing from Shawn and Razor. It's this absolute bobbins that they're dressing up as wrestling. Like, I hated his vibe. His WCW run was pathetic.
Oh,
like, it drew big time. The Hogan Piper as a switch thing was really cool as well. Like, the dynamic switch was pretty exciting.
There's some promos ahead of Starrcade 96.
Yeah.
That get me.
Yeah. But then everything beyond that, once they've had that match,
Alcatraz.
the one where he's like, I got my fighters. And like John Tenter's one of them. And there's just these guys. And it goes like 4 hours. Like almost leaves the Monday Night War in a single segment. Like it's embarrassing, man. Like the reality check stuff with President Flair. Like I just...
Right. I think the best of Piper rules. I wouldn't go as far as Hamflett.
Makes us cringe.
There is a cringe element to Piper. There's a visceral thing with Piper. That, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's that garble, the garbly wheeze man who... So it's this thing when you're watching, right, from a young age. You know what? I might do a part 2 for this because I've got some that I need the time. From a young age, like, depending on how old you are, that kind of informs your tastes and everything else, you know, how to describe life to you. Piper, because I was a WrestleMania 6, 7, SummerSlam 89. Work your way backwards until it starts looking a little bit olden days. You know what I mean?
I know exactly
like WrestleMania 1's olden days.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 3's olden days. WrestleMania 2, that weird box, is olden days.
WrestleMania 3 is allowed to be because it's so massive.
Yeah,
but like it's still got some olden days guys.
It's got some olden days guys.
Yeah. WrestleMania 2 is weird. WrestleMania 2 is like 3 house shows, and like Hogan on the front cover looks like he's posing for like a charity shop window kind of thing.
I don't have to pretend that ever happened. Thanks for getting it from Woolworths, but I'm just going to watch WrestleMania 5 again.
Yeah,
because that's not olden days. Roddy Piper was like, "Are you in it or not?"
Yeah.
I was like, because he would do, what was the thing he did? Was it WrestleMania 6, that celeb segment? The guy who's smoking the tabs.
Oh, God, Morton Downey Jr. at WrestleMania 5.
Yeah.
Brother Love.
With the tabs.
Yeah, it goes on for ages.
And then it's 6 with the old blackface.
6 with blackface against Bad News Brown. 4 is where he does now, because 3 is where he retires against Adrian Adonis. Like, and he was kind of like mainstream They Live guy.
Yeah.
Did you know he's in They Live?
So I'm like, are you in it or not?
Yeah.
Why is he still around? Because he's Roddy Piper. He's going to chew the scenery when he's doing his like broadcasting stuff off and on as well. I'm like, who the hell is this guy?
Awful commentator. I hate his commentary.
Yeah. Like, who the hell is this guy who thinks he's in it? He thinks he's him.
Yes.
Turns out he kind of was to a lot of people, CM Punk included, but I get it. Right, okay. Kane, dishonorable mention. I'm going to go through these real quick.
Wow.
We need to get to the Rushmore.
Mentions.
He was on Rushmore until I remembered someone else who I hate more.
Okay.
Kane, if he was just around for like a couple of years, he wouldn't be. Again, veering towards that tier of intro in terms of his horrible politics and all the rest of it. But he was more so than The Undertaker, because at least The Undertaker could turn up against a Shawn, definitely against a Foley, sometimes against a Brett, you know.
Yep.
Love the Punk match. Like, Taker's got 15 matches I'd actually watch again.
He had his run.
He had his run.
Mid-2000s run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kane never had a good singles match. And he was...
Well, hang on, Albert. You know what I mean? Like, this is the ultimate of all roof.
The Fed tax is so real.
Albert on SmackDown in that Test match. Not cricket. Like the match against Test.
Yeah.
Again, like the all-time rule-proven exceptions. It was getting good.
No,
and then,
he wasn't.
And then you say that once, and it's like, yeah, but like this was a one-note character that lasted nearly 20 years. How's that enough? It's not enough. It's not enough.
He was absolutely like, I used to have to find time to watch like WWE downstairs, and I didn't always have a Sky box upstairs, you know. That's cable. So like there were times when, what's my dad doing? Right. I was in the kitchen working on his slot cars. It's like scale electric for grown-ups. Mm-hmm. So realistically, I shouldn't be scared of my father. He's kind of playing with these toy cars, essentially, walking in on me watching wrestling. That's the layer. That's like the tier of like really nerdy hobbies you should be embarrassed by. But Dad plays with scale electric, and he's like 79 years old. I watch wrestling, and I'm worried about him when he's like, what, 60?
Yeah.
50, 60. oh God, my dad might take a break from playing with the Scale X-Strikes to come and...
Don't walk in when Kane's on, Dad.
Yeah!
Yeah.
My mum's at work. She used to run a pub. My dad's in doing that. I'm like, oh, he's still in. Oh God, Kane's on. Kane's on with that stupid, terrible voice. My dad's coming in. Oh, Shannon Moore was going to be on after him, and I think he's got what it takes to be the champion. You know what I mean? And the thing about Kane is someone goes, oh, God, I love working with Kane. He's a safe pair of hands. He always safe working with Kane. I know I've seen his sidewalk slam. And I have to watch this dude at least once a week, every week, for 20 years.
Give it take.
I've spent more time with Kane probably than I have with my own sister because I went away to uni. She now lives an hour away. It's hard to get together. An hour's always longer than you think. I think I've literally seen Kane's face, probably more than my sister's, more than the last 20 years of my life.
And it's funny you mention that because I actually have more tolerance for him before the mask comes off in 2003. Like, he's not
You're
got...
a slow chemical truther.
No, he's just not got good facials.
Just 2 for 1 special, 2 for 1 special. Everything you can apply for Kane, other than the level of embarrassment and, oh, this is just phony, fake, supernatural nonsense. Big Show. For the exact same reason. Your stuff looked terrible, and you were around for way too long. And here's another thing about Big Show. If, you know, like, I don't believe in karma, really. It'd be nice if it existed. Imagine that. Perfect world. Clearly, karma doesn't exist. I mean, are you stupid?
2 little minutes on the internet. We'd have great karma after this podcast, wouldn't we? Everything would go our way.
I tell you what. When Big Show got in shape for that Shaq match, that never happened. I'm glad it didn't. A useless, lethargic boulder he was for about 2 decades.
This is good because I don't mind going spoiler ski. You've gone two for 2 on my actual Hatemore there in Big Show and Kane. And Kane, with his inability to pull effective faces when his mask actually came off, other than looking like quite tired and like he's got like a stomach complaint. That was his angry selling face. It's like it's like slight food poisoning. Not that he's actually got the shits, just that like he might have some bother with them later. When you're on the train home.
There is a lot of like, what's it called in your stomach when it's like, it feels like it's getting twisted. Yeah.
That's Kane's selling face. That stupid pedigree where I went to his knees. They're like the clothesline that he would do off the top, and he was supposed to be impressed that like a big man's going up high, but then he would almost not touch the guy until he was on the ground, and it was just so what then. Like, I just thought he was so terrible at emoting and his matches were so slow and boring. I don't even like the way Kane walks to the ring. He's got a like strange gait about him. The Big Show is on my Hatemore because recently I was watching quite a bit of...
The AEW tipping over the edge for you.
Yeah, quite a bit of... here I'm going to pay a compliment to someone outside the old Titan Sports. Is it safe to say that... Oh, God, this is sounding too cruel. I don't mean to be horrible to people.
They've made it this far.
I think he's the biggest wasted potential in the history of wrestling.
Oh, probably.
Because it was remarkable what the Giant could do for the amount of, like, the single figures matches he's had by, like, 95, 96.
This is your Fed brain, though. You're thinking that Giant, who I reluctantly think is great in this thing that is getting in the way of my Fed, is coming to the Fed. He is, like, your ultimate... Sunderland have signed who?
Yeah.
And he's going to get, well, how many points? And he flops.
It just... Like, but you can see it happening in like 98 WCW, which is the sad thing, and it's all documented.
But in your head, you're thinking, "Oh, Vince McMahon will whip him."
That'll whip him into shape. Jim Ross's constant gaslighting in his columns will whip him into shape.
This old Oakley says, "If that fat bastard finally loses those 400 pounds I've been asking."
Sorry if you can read my coded language. He got mega rich.
I think it's the Big Show. We call them the Big Show, not the morbidly obese show. So what are we getting?
When we said big nasty, we weren't referring to what he'd get from the catering buffet. Like, I don't see how.
No gimmicks needed, no snacks either.
If Paul White of 1995, the Giant, and you have not got nice things to say about the Performance Center, right? But if that guy with that body and those like very, very raw phenomenals walks into like either AEW or WWE today, he's made forever. He's the biggest and best guy ever. Because you cannot be...
I will say not forever because he's a you can't book him over the long term, even if you book him well.
Fair enough. But you see things from him that you're...
1999 Big Show, I couldn't stand.
Yeah. But you see things from that man that you can scarcely believe in 1995, 96, and he's barely into it. And you're thinking, like, now, you know, when, like, work rate is king, like, a guy with a dropkick as good as Paul White's was in 1995 today that is honed slightly and is kept in, like, tip-top physical condition and really wants it, really, really wants it, doesn't just sort of see this for a thing he might do for a few years. I just think it's like, what could have been? And instead of what we got was just him and Kane as the constant, like, punchline people that would come out and really teach that mid-carder a lesson for daring to mouth off.
Yeah.
And that was all I felt like I watched out of the pair of them.
Aye.
Both on my Hatemore.
Big Show, he's on my... He's got to hate him. Seems like one of the nicer guys.
Comes across well.
Comes across well. Sometimes quite funny as well, you know. People love him, like Owens loves Big Show, I think.
Yeah. I'm sure a lot of people do. Been his colleagues and friends.
1999, The Big Show was a nightmare for me because he was absolutely hopeless. You could argue worthless because who wants to watch someone who looks like that try and be a monster when he's been booked not to be a monster?
Yeah.
You know, people talk, I know it's obviously not as iconic as, you know, Backlash 2004 or what he did for Taker or what he did for Triple H. What Mankind did with The Big Show in that 10-minute Boiler Room Brawl was a miracle.
Yeah.
A miracle. No one got anything out of Big Show. I think he was so shiny and sweaty and slow and obviously like having a bad time.
The roster thought it. Austin beat him straight away. Take a baby him. Take a little brother to the biggest guy in the roster.
Bear in mind, I'm obsessed with the WWF in 1999. It sucks ass, and I've got no idea how much it sucks ass. And even I'm watching him going, you what? A complete waste of space and potential. I'm disappointed in you. It's like, again, it's like signing that player who has got this unbelievable reputation. Yeah. It's like Newcastle signing Messi when he's 25 and him bombing. For all that talk you had of Big Show being like he's the best giant, he's like, he can do drop kicks. He can even do a goddamn moonsault if someone would have the balls to take it. And it's like Newcastle signing Messi when he's 24 years old and bombing. It's like, this is impossible. I hate you for bombing.
Yeah.
Very quickly, because we need to get the Rushmores. Paul Heyman, sir. I mean, thank you for ECW. SmackDown 6 is overrated, and you lasted about 7 months in the role as head writer. But you did.
Yeah.
And I could have booked the SmackDown 6 to beat each other half the time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep. Also was really, really helped by the contrast to Raw, which was
yes.
like maybe all-time worst.
But Paul Heyman is an on-screen performer where, like, have a day off, have a second off even. Have 1 second off from the idea of being Paul Heyman. The ultimate thick people thinks he's clever.
Yeah.
Like, look at how obvious he's making every emotion that he's feeling, and he's gone through about 8 in the last 10 seconds at my last count. God, you can't take your eyes off Paul Heyman. God, he's so good at expressing himself. I think he's absolutely the most overrated on-screen performer in the history of professional wrestling. Because at least there's thank God I don't feel insane. There's someone on Mount Rushmore who's got as many fans as haters. There are so many people who think him is some kind of genius. He isn't, and he's very ick, very, very ick. Seth Rollins is everything I hate about professional wrestling and indeed WWE, and in fact makes me feel like I'm insane. When, like, you know, Gotch would talk about Harley Race and Cornette would talk about the Young Bucks, I have my moment of, well, the business is in the bin if he's considered good. You know what I mean? The business is in the bin if he's considered good. Seth Rollins is a not very good Kenny Omega / Will Ospreay / AJ Styles at his peak. Even when he was 2015 zipping about, there's a layer of pure emotion and drama completely missing from his matches. Seth Rollins being considered this great wrestler, it's more about his perception among fans and the office more than anything about him, even though he gives me the ick. It's just the idea that this guy's character and his whole MO for years, which has now informed this character of, I want WWE to be nice, dependent. Is that you if you got in the ring? Am I meant to cheer you as my babyface? No offense.
Me.
Yeah. It's like watching like Seth Rollins is a mascot who just wants WWE to be dependable.
Yes.
Don't have any interesting people here. Don't have any part-timers who aren't into it. You're in it to win it in WWE, and I'm Seth Rollins. Like, company man for the worst company ever, who's not as good as Kenny Omega, but he's a bigger star by default for working there. I cannot stand him. I cannot stand him. The Undertaker, but we do enough on these podcasts. I suspect he's on your hate more.
He's not. I've left him off completely. I am worried.
Well, we'll do more Dead Man stuff, don't worry. If we did Dead Man riffs now.
Yeah. I am worried that the Dead Man and how much he features in our lives on this podcast.
You got accustomed to old man's takes face.
To his old white mask face.
He's up there with Kane for Don't Come In, Dad. The Undertaker's on.
He is.
Still watching that rubbish, son.
Is the Undertaker still in it? Well, he sort of is, actually. He's a coach now.
He's your old mentor.
Yeah. I don't know. The ice is melting with old me and Dave Man at the moment. He didn't feature in my... I got one more honorable mention because I didn't have the heart to put him on in Hatemore. But again, this is like... I often hate wrestlers who I simply do not like watching wrestle. Maybe this is the sort of same thing that you think about Seth. I don't think it's Seth Rollins because you have a fundamental principle disagreement with the existence of Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins is not a star in any company at this level that he's at that doesn't have the head start that WWE has over every single competitor. You put him in AEW, he bombs. You put him in WCW at its peak, ECW, bomb, 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 bomb. It's just because it's WWE initials first.
I feel like that mine are mostly born out of people I just dread watching. Who I just dread, oh no, they're on the show. I have to watch that. Because this is just going to sound cruel. I actively dread, oh no, Timothy Thatcher's on the card. It's a style of which he is simply a practitioner of, but he's maybe one of the most prominent ones.
Grapplev.
And he's one of the most, to me, my cousin Nick, shout out Nick, once nailed this to me. We're sat there watching Timothy Thatcher. And
live?
Yeah.
Oh, why don't you choose to do it on telly?
Yeah, God, no. Yeah, just watch anything else, literally up and down and press it once.
I could tell you were in a low during the pandemic when you started putting over Timothy Thatcher's work, by the way. But I'll let you have it.
Just needed something. But it's just like, oh no, I liked it when he was doing the funny stuff.
With Riddle, yeah.
With Riddle, because he was the counterweight.
At the time.
Pete Dunne, it was like, oh, is he going to get fun now? And then it turned out that it was beyond his range and he went back to just being Timothy Thatcher. It's
wildly overrated Dynamite match with Danielson.
It is the wrestling I want to watch least. I apologize to those that love it the most.
Don't. They're not listening to this at this point.
There is no wrestler who I've seen live more who generates fan chatter. That was Nick's take, and he was bang right. You're at a show where Timothy Thatcher's wrestling, and then you'll be staring at the ring, and you'll just hear these little pockets of chatter happening because people realize they've got all the time in the world to have their whispered conversations about whether they're going to buy merch or go and get a drink or anything that is interesting with the person next to them, even though you've put money down to watch this wrestling. Yeah. What you should be doing is completely absorbing the live entertainment in front of you, and that's the moment you go, I said, do you want another pint in a second? I'm going to go to the bar, I think. You're making your plans during a Thatcher match because you know you're not missing anything by doing so. I've never felt so...
Life is what happens when you're watching Timothy Thatcher.
I've never felt so heard a scene by a take. I was just like, that's he's really driving that elbow in. I'll go for my piss now.
Yeah.
And he might have finished this top arm lock by the time we get back. That's perfect. I've missed it, man. It's the opposite of the experience you paid to have. And then on telly, you just go like that. I don't even know what's on the channel up or down, but I know I'm going to be grateful for it.
Indeed. My last dishonorable mention should be a two-part of this, really. Don't turn your back on Malakai Black. I just hate it. Dax Harwood is in this genre. The worst of this genre is on the Rushmore. It's Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy doesn't move right. For a start.
Might be the cumulative buns.
Matt Hardy is Ick City. But Malakai Black's in this genre, playing dumb and being disingenuous, which I know I'm a professional wrestling fan. I know that no one tells the truth at any point, really.
No.
But there's something about Malakai Black. And the worst thing is, it's there are times I rate him in the ring so much more highly than Michael Hamflett.
Correct.
Than a lot of people who just kind of get on board with him for the same reasons I can't. He does this feint into a spinning back elbow. I think I like it more than Andrade's. I love the leg sweep. I like how, like, you know, it's like video game wrestling, but not the choreographed anime fighter style, you know? It's like he's got this martial arts legitimacy. Like, some of us, you look like you're helpless when you're in there, when he's sweeping your leg, and then I think he's great. He's got his Tyler Bate-esque pattern down now, where he can do that one thing that wows you every time. A good act, as opposed to this idea of building great matches. But this, playing dumb and expecting you to believe what isn't so obvious about what he's trying to do and what he has tried to do in the past. And then where does he work now? Well, when he goes to WWE in the end, I'll finally be able to say...
You think he's going to go, don't you? You think he's going to go to the Fed?
Part of me, yes, but, you know, like...
You'd have to be pretty stupid to assume it.
A lot of people, you know, are adamant that he's staying and that you should take his opinion at face value and his words at face value. But, you know, I just get this opinion. I just get this feeling that he's going to go to the Fed. I just feel it in my bones. So, Rushmore 1, Matt Hardy doesn't move right. He continues to do, he's like so cringe. He continues to do this thing in AEW where I was like, it doesn't bother me. Secretly, I'm up all night thinking about these things. But you know, if you want to do it that way, that's absolutely fine by me. I'm Matt Hardy. I'm cool. You know, CM Punk wants to do this, and Matt Hardy, doesn't bother me. Cut to his bedroom. Him lying in bed at night, obviously seething about something or other. But he keeps going about like Tony Khan. It's when people have a specific way of barely concealing what they actually want to say, and you're so stupid, mate, and you're so useless at it, that why don't you just come out and say it? It's when they disguise with the worst subtext ever what they want to say, and it's so close to what they just say it. Say it, Matt Hardy. He wants to come out and say,
you're kind of appearing like a quite a prominent podcast host that does just that there, because he's got a bit of that in him.
Because he comes out and he'll say, you know, it's all fine. Everything's great when you're Matt Hardy. I was the AEW run. Yeah, Tony's got a different idea to me, I guess. We should have done the Hardy Boys versus Edge and Christian at least once in the what a moment that would have been, you know. But, you know, Tony disagreed, I guess, and, you know, that's fine. You're raging. You're raging. You think you could have been The Rock or something. You've always thought this. You're raging. Just say you're raging. And he goes, you know, I guess Tony just has, you know, he likes his great action. Yeah, not so much about the moments. Just say it. Just say that you think he's a mark. Even though you're completely wrong to say it, you want to say it, so just say it, that he's a mark who just puts on bangers for no reason whatsoever. And these wonderful stories and creative that you have about your little stupid compound and your little stories that have always gimmicks like, I've got a lot of money. I'll be Ted DiBiase this week. You suck. You stink. You're one of the worst wrestlers I've ever laid eyes on. And I cannot stand your energy. This, you're thinking you're it energy. And this, it all boils down to just say the thing you want. I can't stand it.
They all have to, because they all know that they one day might need their bread buttered by one of these billionaires again. So they all walk that line.
But Tony Khan knows what he's doing. Tony Khan,
yeah, the wrestlers, the promoters, especially now, know what they're doing.
So that was 4. 3, Road Dogg.
Oh, good shout.
Road Dogg. If you go and seek out some of his 2002-ish TNA material, some of the worst stuff you'll ever hear in your life. I'm telling you now, some of the worst stuff you ever hear in your life. And given that what he's kind of written about or used to like when they were visible on social media, you can see it's all within the spectrum of awfulness that you suspect Road Dogg thinks privately. The temerity to do blackface and cultural appropriation and not see the irony because you're too stupid. And you're stupid, I'm not stupid. And you think I'm a stupid mark by saying, wins and losses don't matter.
First one to go public with that take, wasn't it? Yeah.
Wins and losses don't matter, you stupid mark. I'm sorry, Road Dogg of all people are saying this. Not a single match outside of the dumpster that I think's worth anything. Literally anything. There was like this 20-minute between DX and the Nation. When was that? Fully Loaded 98.
Fully Loaded 98 as 6-man, I think it was.
6-man.
Yeah. I love Road Dogg. This will be an admission, not something that you like.
You love Road Dogg?
No. The Roddy and the Kid from In Your House.
Oh, right, okay.
But I mean, it's a Sean Waltman cheat code, but it's
Roddy's different to Road Dogg.
Yeah, this was sort of like this untapped potential of this kid versus like, a bit too big for your britches.
Yeah.
Brian.
Yeah.
Like of the late 90s. Yeah.
This guy, it's when he humps. I reckon he could perfect the rhythm of every thrust, right? Have the perfect cock. Like, take like the composite perfect cock.
Yeah.
Well, like, some women don't mind that they're not huge. Like, just the perfect. You know what he could put on, right? He could go different cock, 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 right? Until he could have a malleable cock to whichever sexual partner he's with at the time.
Yeah.
Where it's like, what does your perfect cock look, feel, taste, look like?
Got
you
it.
know? Right? Bang! Perfect cock. All for you, baby. Right.
From Chode Dog to Road Hog.
Indeed.
Right.
And then he gets down to business. And then, he's got the what kind of thrust and rhythm do you like? Okay. Done it. I've got this superpower for some reason. And he starts going to town. I've seen this man hump midair, and it is the least attractive, most icky thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It's his little face that he does when he used to do it.
Shaky legs, knee drops just as bad as that as well.
Oh my God, I hate this dude with a passion. I'm almost convinced he's a terrible human being. And I never, ever want to hear him speak ever again. Just a complete idiot. One of the worst of the worst genre of idiots who think they're clever. Two left, John Cena. Long-time listeners will know. His promos, Warcraft, Star Wars, that era of John Cena, I've never found anyone more excruciatingly unfunny, ever. Like, seriously, ever. Like, at least Triple H, who is obviously on my Mount Rushmore, most prominent face. It's the nose. There's actually 5 features on my Mount Rushmore. There's Road Dogg's face. There's John Cena's face. There's Matt Hardy's face. There's Triple H's face. And then, sure enough, right next to it is Triple H's big nose, right?
Prominent proboscis.
John Cena, the most catastrophically, excruciatingly unfunny person I've ever met. And I've met him, thank God. Ever seen, ever watched. Like, probably 5 matches that I love. But even though I love them on principle, I'm not going to go and watch them back because I hate him so much.
Yeah.
I hate the way his stupid little, like, the inside of his ankles bump on the mat when he does his fist for the 5-knuckle shuffle.
Uh-huh.
Does that not hurt? How are you not hurting yourself in there? Like, you're so awkward and uncoordinated. Your stupid gurning facial expressions. I can't believe a second of any emotion you've ever projected. Your unfunny material, the relentless years on top, I suffered through them.
Mm-hmm.
And on every level, it's ick and it's kind of hatred. The contrarians, one of these days, will just stop giving the last iota of a bollocks, right? And go on like media and Twitter, people who hate the most, right? There is a genre of them, the contrarians, the type of person who thinks that Akira Taue is the best pillar and John Cena is an all-time great babyface. I hate you as well. Triple H, you're the worst person I've ever met in my life. I want nothing more. If you know when and say, you go back in time and do this, and this, I'll break Triple H's legs on the first day of wrestling school. Do you know what I mean? Like, I would love to see a version of wrestling that where he doesn't exist. Like Matsuda.
Just going to say, era Matt Sidgwick over there.
The talent... the talent to success ratio, the deserve it to got it all ratio, the fact that he got so many opportunities afforded to him by the creative leverage and the political power and the lack of competition, everything went right for this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he was tedious. He loves it. It must sicken you on some level. I know you love the Fed.
He's on
to
mine.
To watch Levesque go on like he does now with CM Punk. Guys had a lot of growing up to do. How have you won? Is good. And honestly, I know I shouldn't care about WWE when I watch AEW, right? The fact that this dude actually won and got it, it should still be 2003 in my head. The fact that this dude actually won and runs it all, Triple H, that no talent, unfunny loser, that boring bastard, the mere fact that he won it and runs it taints my perception of even the best of AEW, you know? We're still in a dystopia. I still have this the dystopia filter when I watch pro wrestling now. So even when it's good, great pro wrestling, it's like this dystopia filter that Triple H runs it all. I think might ruin everything for me a little bit.
He's on mine.
I know Vince McMahon, don't get it twisted, is, I don't know anything about Triple H, a significantly worse human being. But he was a great promoter. Triple H has never been great at anything his entire life. It's and I know Triple H, Vince McMahon's worse, and trust me, I actually hate him more. But there's something about Triple H where I don't think he's ever been good or great at a single thing, and yet he runs it all. You've got my Rushmore: Matt Hardy, Road Dogg, John Cena, Triple H. Yours is Kane, Big Show,
Triple H.
Can I guess it's Chavo Guerrero?
It's Chavo Guerrero. It seems so petty compared to like the complaints about Kane and the Big Show and Triple H. It's Chavo Guerrero. I'm just thinking about who I dread having to watch, and for the longest time, Chavo Guerrero was that. I simply cannot really abide. I don't know, this idea. I think that's what it is about. So often, the wrestlers you don't like or the wrestlers you don't enjoy are informed a little bit by the opinions of those that do. Do you get me?
No, I wish that's my one. Well, I probably got loads. I hate that about myself. I so wish I could drop that about myself. This person likes this wrestler. This type of person gravitates towards this wrestler. Well, I kind of stand them.
Yeah.
I wish I wasn't like this, but I am.
Chavo Guerrero, and he's probably more just a symbol.
He's in the SmackDown 6, so...
he's a symbol of what I don't like more than just himself, although there are times when it is him himself. Of this... I want almost... you can't have it. My wrestling utopia, and ultimately it's why Utopia...
2023 WWE.
It's up there, But my utopia fundamentally is wrestlers I perceive to be tens, and that can be at various different... The Bret Hart, Top Trump, whatever... Tens.
All the greats. Bret Hart, Jey Uso.
Yeah. Yeet would be a 10 on Bret's thing, right? Tens, ones. And the ones can be big old fat lads, big stupid lumps. The Great Khali.
Yeah.
Just attractions. What? That's weird. I want to look at that for a second, right? Ones and tens. And Chavo to me is the most five that ever fived. And I find that so, and there are loads of them. There's more Chavos than anything else. There's more fives than that's natural, right? Because if you are the absolute standard for what an average is, right, then you've done something right. You've got halfway there. But that's the biggest problem in wrestling to me, because wrestling should be this theater of the special, and that's why I say 1 and 10. Not the kind of...
that's why I like Charlotte Flair so much.
Not the home to the average. Not the sort of... And I even hate bringing his name up these days. But the kind of... John Laurinaitis was just tasked with finding these guys. Yeah. Just these crap, flavorless guys. And Chavo Guerrero is a flavorless guy that can also do a few moves. And that's... almost worse now, because it fools so many people.
At least Heidenreich was funny to watch.
Exactly, Sid. Yes, Heidenreich's a perfect example. What's he doing?
He used to see how, and he's
absolutely useless. I want to look at that.
Yes,
what the frig's the Undertaker going to do with that? Right? Useless. If he could grab a hold, we're finished. Chavo can grab all the holds you want, pal, but I don't want to watch him do any of them, and that's got to be the problem, right? What was all the training for? If I cannot connect with you on a single level, what was the training for? And now you're supposed to hold him up in this lofty esteem, and like there was that Royal Rumble when he came back, and you're supposed to like they agented him like Steve Austin himself to just come out of retirement. It's like he's the most guy that ever guyed. But yeah, SmackDown 6, and there are certain things, and I'm sure there's a Chavo Guerrero match out there that's somebody's very favorite match ever. But like,
no, I mean that's not true. That's not true.
Maybe not. That specific style is in some respects everything I find to be wrong with pro wrestling. That just fine style. Triple H, really briefly on Triple H, because I don't have a counterpoint for you. I just have a different reason why I hate him. I hate Triple H because
your brain's so weird, bro. Because
I know. I
love him.
I'm starting to come around to the fact that I think he's my favorite booker ever, and yet simultaneously, but I'll stack it up with reasons. Like
not now.
I'm not gonna. I'd talk your heat off about NXT and the WWE, the two that he's created, right, or at least like overseen. However, there is nobody ever watching this podcast nor listening to me speak has ever known me to feel the hatred I felt all those years for Triple H when I was younger. Like it was a formative experience despising Triple H.
Yeah.
Formative. It's in deep. It is in
smug,
bone deep,
boring.
Watching for years and not caring, and then watching him get it, and then watching him lose it, and then
it was his fault because he gave it up because he was too self-conscious.
The insecurity from 2002 onwards, and insecurity whether it be in how he looked, in how he worked, in how he won.
Who else was better?
How many people were better?
Loads of them.
Right. It's like nothing else. And the worst thing about it for me, right, Triple H's insecurity, the worst thing about it is the amount of times, I'm not talking as a like an NXT internet darling or this current WWE boom, whatever, as a wrestler, strictly as a wrestler, if he'd have had the self-confidence to actually flex the stuff he was best at as a wrestler in all those years where we all collectively just despised him. Those long, terrible 2002 to 2005 matches, the relentless like sludge of those WrestleMania matches that he insisted on giving himself all those years when he was past his prime. If he'd have just taken a step back and been like, what if I show some ass? Mm-hmm. What if I remind him how much of a light switch of a back bump I used to have?
Yeah.
Like, we'd have immediately just let him have it.
Yeah.
Because there was things at his peak he was so good at, and there were the things he didn't want to use because they involved looking like an asshole and getting beat.
Yeah.
And they were the things he simply wouldn't allow himself to do. It was naked insecurity, constantly. Like, the closest I've ever come to switching off WWE is in part due to the Triple H character and the way the Daniel Bryan character had the thumb put on him. But I honestly think there was a bit of like a PTSD to watching Triple H do that as a wrestler a decade prior. It was like, hang on, I watched him do this to an entire mid-card, and now I'm watching his character in a suit do it to the guys I like now. Is this just what I'm doomed to see forever?
Yeah, why do this? Why do this?
You did it as a wrestler, and you knew it was failing. You are booking a developmental in which you are booking the opposite of this product, and yet as a performer, you do this.
He can't help himself.
I like the smugness, the whole deal. Like, but we get to have a lot of fun at knowing, and that's what's great, is that we know as much as he knows that at every single stage of his career, there's been somebody better.
And he can't handle it.
And that's
and he knows
that's great for me. Like that I can live comfortably knowing he thinks that. As a booker, one of, if not my favorite. Like, based on strict eras.
We don't care about that. This is negativity corner.
Apologies. An awful wrestler on his day. Just a simply awful wrestler that completely ignored the stuff he could do well.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again.
He was a pathetic, insecure prick.
People that love Triple H.
Let's about go to the outro.
Your feelings on Seth Rollins are what I believe. Like,
so why do they love each other so much?
I get your feelings about Seth Rollins because I think about people that love Triple H blindly because their formative years
told them to.
Were like 2006 or something.
And because they listened to the WWE
Spit the Water
rhetoric.
Like, DX 2006. That's the funny stuff. Never funny. It was never funny.
Never funny. And Triple H was never good outside of 1 year. And some selected highlights after that, but mostly...
Between the years of 2002 and the present.
I was on top of this between the years of 2000 and 2000. Who was on your Mount Hatemore? Let us know in the comments below or on X at WhatCulture WWE. Whilst you're there, you can follow Michael Hamflett at
Michael Hamflett.
You can follow me at Sidgwick. I can't plug anything because this is going out whenever. So I've got no idea what else you can listen to, if anything at all. But regardless of that, you should subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts from, for Outside of Wacky Summer Daily Wrestling Podcast. Thank you to Hamflett for joining me. Thank you very much for listening and or watching, or listening, come watching. And we'll see you soon.